What's up guys, Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today we're going to be talking about some Star Expedition strategies and something that a lot of people are running right now, especially when we're talking about the Abyss Catastrophe. So there are some pretty cool cheese methods that you can run with your team. Now, one little note, I'm pretty sure Amadeus has already done like 1 or 2 videos on this as well the previous time that this was open. So again, just remember, we're trying to imitate, but we're not going to quite get there with what we have on our account. We're going to show you something pretty cool. If you want to check out the original video where Amadeus did like 615 million damage, I believe, or no, not billion, 615 billion damage on the boss, make sure you check out the link in the description. It has a link to his video. It's really cool, but I wanted to share it with you guys as just so you can see what's going on here. So number one, is very important for the strategy to work. You need to make sure you have clear reverberation cleared out, because what clear reverberation is going to do is get rid of polluting wave, and polluting wave is going to make it so that battles will last 15 rounds instead of the only 6-round limit. You really want to get to that before you start using the strategy, in my opinion, because you're really relying on a lot of things happening. So number one, before we even do that, you're going to want at least these 2 heroes, in my opinion. You're going to want a Vesa, and you are going to want a Sword Flash. Now, typically, you're going to want to run her very offensive, and the other thing we need to find is where our Antlers Cane is. Let's see, because we want to throw the Antlers Cane because we're going for very long fights. Actually, you know what? It might be better using Magic Stone Sword on Vesa. Let's give that a try. You don't probably need it, but I think that's the way Amadeus did it. So you know what? I'm just going to try to copy him since he knows a lot more about these endgame strategies than me. We're going to go very offensive, and what do we have here? Crit damage, crit, and damage reduction. That should be fine. We shouldn't need to tweak too much more. So here's what we're going to do. Number one, let's jump in here and we talk about the Star Imprints. Star Imprints, the biggest thing here is getting the Osis or Osiris, whatever it is, the Osis Forset. Whenever anyone dies in the battle, increases all allies' attack, holy damage, all damage, and crit rate by 20% for 15 rounds. Now, actually, this is a big part right here. Now, I'm kind of covering some of the text here, but you're increasing your crit rate by 20%. So what that really means is when you are building your hero, especially your Sword Flash, I would in reality change the crit away to holy damage instead. I would keep the damage reduction, but you don't need crit chance at this point because you're getting it from your Star Imprints, which is very huge. You're increasing attack, holy damage, and it's lasting all 15 rounds. So this is like an infinitely stacking effect. The Osis effect is this the shape. So it's not the color inside, it's the shape of these imprints. So make sure you have that. And then after that, just try to get as many pairings as possible. I'm using a 2-piece Tranquility, Gus, Osis, of course, you get because you have the Forset as well, and then Destiny. Gus is probably the one I can get rid of. Which one's Gus? Is Gus the light? Yeah, I don't know if I can actually change out of that. It doesn't look like it because I don't have enough variety. And in reality, I mean, we can get rid of Gus. It just depends because you need to have enough of these here, and that's just not pairing up well. I guess what we could do is we could look at something like throwing a Foresight in here, which we already have one Foresight. We could throw something like this in, and then we can get more crit damage here. So instead of that armor break, we would get crit damage, which is significant. Although the downside with that is now we are not pairing this up very well. So you can see how it's like kind of like a give and take. We can equip this here, and now we can get that precision back. We have everything. Yeah, 50% crit damage. The crit chance on Destiny is a little overkill. We're getting into semantics here. I don't want to bore you with all that. The important thing is here now going to be the strategy. So when we come in to challenge this boss, we don't want like any of these people except for you, Vesa for survivability. We're going to go with the Phoenix just because there's no burn or anything like that anyway. and it's the best offensive stats. And we're gonna, oh no, I got rid of all my mini carry copies. 1 second. Problem solved. Kind of forgot I actually made my carry. I used one too many anyway, but hey, whatever. So we have our super powerful hero in here. We are now going to go to the dark faction. I forgot I made my E5 and I used up all my copies. Now, if you want to optimally do this, you really want to go for, I think it's a V3 carry overall, because that's going to make her revives happen faster. But even 5 stars can work in this method. And essentially what we're going to be doing here is we're going to watch this through, and now every single time the carries are dying, that's going to give a stacking buff to our Sword Flash and technically our Vesa too. But the Vesa, I believe you kind of need for the survivability, and even here we might be too weak just because we don't have the whole entire game mode unlocked. Typically the strategy works even the best at the very late stages when you already have like every zone cleared out, you have every buff and everything. But the Vesa is very important here for trying to keep her going and keeping her alive. She comes really close to dying, but the whole important part here is just making sure she doesn't die. Ooh, that's rough when she doesn't get an attack off. They do have an energy drain too, which feels a little bad when it does land. Maybe using something along the lines of, say, Demon Bells on the carries, although the carries never even get to attack because that reflect damage. So we did die in round 14. The Vesa's still going good. Magic Stone Sword seems pretty strong with that, but I mean, you look at what we're doing here. What is that damage now? It's still 114 billion. Considering they're just 5 stars, they're not reviving as fast as they normally would. It's still very good damage and a good strategy to do for the boss. I think that's what most people are running here, so I think that's probably one of the best methods you can run. Let's get our other 2 challenges done. The damage reduction is definitely necessary on the imprints for the Sword Flash as well. As you can see, she takes a ton of damage. I don't think there's a way to fit a Drake into this equation, though. We could try it. We could try sitting one of the carries and instead running a Drake. But again, I don't know if the Drake is going to be strong enough to actually survive. Wow, she might actually die very early here. Oh, luckily she got the big active from the Vesa, keeping her going. Yeah, those Vesa actives are really, really important here. I imagine if you have full V3 carries, they might actually get a chance to use their attack. So you could try to put like Demon Bells on them or something along those lines to keep them kind of going. But the Vesa Sword Flash combo definitely seems necessary. Not doing anywhere near as much that time. But yeah, you can see we're not exactly the strongest in our guild, but it's definitely helping us bump up the list. Let's just see what would happen if we dropped you out and threw a Draken. I think that's going to split the healing a little bit too much. But if it can make Sword Flash do more damage, maybe it's worthwhile. The question is, can the Drake stay alive? It is a V4 Drake, and it has a crown, so it's going to have also a very high dodge chance. So there is potential that this defense down might work out for the best in our situation where we don't have a ton of carries on our account to just completely break the game mode for us. It does split the healing a little bit, I think, from the Vesa, which, that's going to be the problem, where the Vesa needs to really be focusing on healing the Sword Flash. When that happens right there, it really messes up your attack. I mean, right there, you can see the difference. We're only doing 25 billion. Drake doing a decent amount, but I think it's really important of only having the 2 Transcendence heroes in the front row to keep you going. Let's just claim out our daily stuff here. Let's check it out. So yeah, maybe if we would have done it better, it would have turned out a little bit more damage, but definitely the combo here is Vesa. She can probably get away with something like an A and B or something along those lines, but the Sword Flash, man, the Sword Flash doing damage. I would love to try it out if we had a full like V4 carry account too that we could really go into town. Maybe I'll have to ask Soul if he'll let us jump on his account. That would be cool. But hopefully you guys enjoy this one. A nice little cheese method that you can kind of try out on your account depending on where you are. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.